How's everyone doing? This is going to be a video where I show you what didn't make the shelf. This is a video series idea that I got from Joe and Marie over at Martinez Joe 74, where they, showed certain movies that didn't make their shelf. And I thought that was a great idea. I used to do a video series somewhat similar, but theirs is a better idea. I used to do keep or toss, and I would ask your opinion. And I feel like if I'm thinking about getting rid of something, I should just get rid of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you 10 movies in here that I am going to get rid of the collection. I have over 6,000 movies and I want to cut it down to 2,500. I feel like even that 2,500 movies is a lot to watch. How many movies can you watch and rewatch in a lifetime? So it's going to be a difficult process. I've already sold over 10,000 movies in the past 5 years. So I've had a bit of an impasse, but I'm trying to whittle it down. Every month I get in about 30 movies. So I'm trying to get out double that each month now. But let's go ahead and get into it. All these ones are available. I know when I first did my initial one of these, I didn't really think about it and people would be interested in it. So I got a bunch of messages on Instagram and stuff like that. So all of these are available if you're interested. There's only one that I think has any real value in here. Is an out of print title. I'll go ahead and show you that first, in fact. Miss 45, which is out of print. I looked up on eBay. There's only 2 on eBay. And one person's asking 100, the other person's asking 200. Which do you think will sell first? It's funny, I looked through, there's a couple other listings actually, but this is the only one for the US listing. There's a couple ones for region B locked ones, which are less money. So yeah, I was shocked to see the price. I knew this was out of print, but I didn't think it was going for that much money. Kind of mind blowing. It's directed by Abel Ferrara, who did Driller, Killer, Bad Lieutenant, but this movie is unintentional comedy to me. It starts out, she's having a real terrible day, let me tell you. She gets assaulted twice. It's a R and revenge type movie. I'm not going to say it. Begins with R, ends in ape. And kind of I Spit on Your Grave-esque kind of stuff. That kind of realm. So that happens to her twice in the same day, which is just mind-blowing, holy moly. And then after that, she just loses her mind and starts killing guys. And there's some just absurd, ridiculous scenes that are it's so poorly shot. It's so absurd. A lot of people are big Abel Ferrara fans. There's some stuff I like, some stuff I don't. He did King of New York as well, but some of his movies just aren't for me, like Driller Killer. I'm not a big fan of Driller Killer either. I had a copy of that forever ago, got rid of that. But yeah, this one to me, there's a scene where she's shooting somebody and everything's just so slow and just dramatically paced. It's comedic, and just the way there's a scene towards the end where she's shooting this guy dressed in a girl's costume, and there's a girl behind her with a knife, and she's holding it like it's a phallic object. She's holding it down there. It's just that whole scene. It was a minute long, but it felt like 5 minutes. And there's so many other ridiculous scenes. There's a scene, just a random scene where there's homeless ladies walking and saying just it's a hilarious line. It's so absurd, ridiculous. And this scene is just, the lead actress, she's stunning, but she's not a good actress. And it's funny because you find out more about her. I was some of the special features on here. Apparently she was an advocate for using heroin. And she apparently passed away from drug-related issues. But she's only in a couple different movies. Zoe Lund, she has a big cult following, apparently. She's stunning, but I don't think she's a great actress. I don't think there was much to talk about acting-wise here, but there's a big cult following for this movie. So I don't understand it because I thought it was laughably bad. Drafthouse Films, mind-blowing. I can't wait to get rid of this. But it is a nice release for the film. I'll go ahead and show you the interior. It's got a booklet, some shots from the movie, and reversible artwork. That's a classic shot too, that one. But yeah, there's just so many scenes in here that are absurd and ridiculous and just goofy, and I just feel like it's unintentional comedy. Not for me at all, but it has a following. That's when I just don't understand, because I was just laughing at how bad that movie was. I don't know. It's one of those ones where I just can't wrap my head around people enjoying it, especially paying crazy money for it too. Next up is Double Dragon. This might be the worst video game adapted movie ever. Worse than Street Fighter. Street Fighter recently got a beautiful Steelbook release. And it's just such a terrible movie, though. I remember seeing so many people post about it. I was like, oh, this is a great movie. How do people, how can you not like this movie? Because it's trash. It's an utter dumpster fire of a movie. Just cringe-tastic. This is super cringy. It's just unbelievable. We've got Mark Dacascos, Robert Patrick, Scott Wolf, and Alyssa Milano's in here too. Poor Alyssa Milano. But it is just poor effects, poor acting, cringy, just terrible dialogue. One of the worst, actually, from what I've seen, the worst adapted video game movie ever. Let me know what your favorite video game adapted movie is and your least favorite that you've seen. This is just so, it's a product of its time too, I would say, but I don't want to give that as an excuse of how bad it is. But yeah, 1994. Really nice release for it though. You got that slipcover. A lot of these slipcovers from MVD, like Rewind collection, stuff like that, they go like out of print, so you can get the movie, but it won't come with the slipcover, and people pay like crazy prices for just the slipcovers. I'm the kind of the same way, but to a point. I'm not going to pay crazy money. Sometimes people pay like insane amounts of money for just the slipcover, like double, triple the amount what the movie goes for. And to me, like that's a little crazy. I'll buy the slipcovers because I do like to have a complete release. I feel like if it has a slipcover and I don't have it, I just feel like it's incomplete, it's naked, it needs to be covered, it needs to be shielded, it needs to be complete. It's just collector mentality, but it just blows my mind for it. And then this one has a poster in here too for the movie. So I'll go ahead and show you. Why not? But I was just blown away by how terrible little mini poster this movie was. Just the effects in here, some of the characters, 2-disc set. And yeah, reversible artwork. Beautiful release for it, but the movie is just a dumpster fire. I loved the video game growing up as a kid. I remember playing it. Is there a Contra movie? If there's not, there should be. I remember playing that all the time as a kid too. But yeah, I remember arcades. That was a big thing. Like when I was like, preteen, early, we would go hang out at the arcade. Every mall had one. I don't think that's really a big thing anymore. If you go down to the shore, I guess a couple malls do, but not everyone. But yeah, that's where we used to hang out as kids. But this to me, oof, beautiful release for it. A lot of special features, great packaging, but the movie, dumpster fire. Next up, I was actually debating about getting rid of it because I was like, it's just so bad. It's hilarious, kind of. But I can't sit through that again. Next up is Mcfarland USA. This was actually a good movie, very inspirational, and it's directed by Nicky Caro, who directed the recent Mulan movie, and also Whale Rider. But yeah, this is basically about, true story of underdogs for this, cross-country racing team. And the coach realizes they have, great running ability and pushes them beyond their talent. And, it's just the inspirational story based on a true story. Kevin Costner in it. Why wouldn't it do well? It's actually a good movie. It's just one of those ones where I don't know if I would revisit it, because there's so many better inspirational sports dramas out there that I would revisit before this one. And, it's Disney. It's got the slipcover. So, yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen the new Mulan movie. I've heard mixed things on it, but I do want to check that out eventually. I don't know. Again, this one's a good movie. It's just one that I don't know if I'm going to rewatch again, because I just feel like I'd rather watch so many other ones in that kind of realm. So sometimes I'm getting rid of movies that I think are good. It's just rewatchability factor. If I can't see myself rewatching again, it's time to get rid of it. There's no reason to keep things just to have them. I don't have the space. And, I got a lot of life changes going on. So next up is Van Helsing, which I upgraded this to the 4K. And I rewatched this recently. In fact, last night I watched it. And this is one of Emily's favorite movies. And to me, I wasn't so dated. 2004, I believe. A year after Underworld came back in sales in this one. Underworld, I feel like, is aged much better than Van Helsing. It just felt the digital, the effects, the CG effects and stuff like that were just really dated. And I don't know, it was, I want to say it was like a 2-hour movie. The pacing didn't really work for it. It had some interesting aspects, but I don't know, I remember liking it when I was younger, but revisiting it now, it just doesn't hold up for me. But I ended up getting the 4K anyways. It's going to be for Emily. She's a big fan of the movie. I'm just not that big of a fan of it. It's directed by Steven Sommers, though. I like him a lot as a director, even though he did the one G.I. Joe movie, which I wasn't a fan of that. Was the Rise of one of the ones that he did, but I'm not a fan of the G.I. Joe movies at all. But he also did the first 2 Mummy movies, which I enjoyed, and he did Odd Thomas, which is a Dean Koontz adaptation, which I love. That has Anton Yelchin in it. I think that one's a really underrated one, and I would definitely recommend checking that one out. I remember seeing the twist coming at the end, but still being blown away by the film itself and loving it. But yeah, he directed this one too, and again, this one felt dated to me. Kate Beckinsale, though, stunningly gorgeous, very talented. Hugh Jackman in here in an earlier role. Yeah, for me though, you know, I upgraded it anyways for her, but I don't know, I didn't really like them quite as much as I remember liking it when I was younger. Next up is one I've never seen, Downton Abbey, the motion picture. I've never seen the TV show, so this is one that I'm going to purge. I just don't know. For certain period pieces, like dramas like this, I'm not that into. Like period pieces for military and war stuff, and you know, even horror, I'm into. But for dramas like this, it's just not as interesting to me. Not something that I'm really that into. So I've never seen the show, and it's just been sitting for, I want to say, a couple of years. This came out. Yeah, 2019. So we're going on almost 3. It's almost, you know, the new year. So, you know, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you guys have a safe and happy New Year as well. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all that good stuff. But yeah, to me, I just don't know when I'm going to be interested in seeing this one. So it's time to get rid of it. I want to start doing that too. I remember when Blockbuster closed down, I got so many movies for like $1. And then, you know, years later, I just ended up getting rid of so many. It's like, you know, I've had this for years. They've just been sitting. I can't see myself watching it anytime soon. There's so many other movies I'd rather watch, so that's the same thing with that one. Next up is Mcgruber. This is directed by Jorma Taccone, part of the Lonely Island crew, and this has some funny moments, and then some other moments that are just kind of cringy. I like the wrestlers in here. There's the wrestlers in the back. That's probably my favorite part of the movie. It was like the celery stick thing they put in their butts. That was funny / weird, awkward, cringy. But I don't know, it had some interesting moments, and then other parts where I'm just like, this is apparently there's a TV show of this now, Mcgruber, and it's just a parody of MacGyver. MacGyver was a great TV show growing up when I was a kid. They actually have a MacGyver reboot. But yeah, but this has Kristen Wiig, Will Forte, Ryan Phillippe, Val Kilmer's villainous character. Val Kilmer, tremendous actor. I saw the recent documentary about him on Amazon Prime. That was incredible, but that's one I would definitely revisit again. So Val Kilmer, talking about his life and documentary. If you haven't seen that documentary, I think it's just called Val, but definitely check that one out. But this one to me, it's goofy. It's got some funny moments, but then it's got some other moments that just miss for me. So overall, I think there are other comedy movies that I'd rather watch than Mcgruber. Next up is another one that like I remember enjoying and thinking it had some really funny moments, but then some other moments that just kind of, the pacing felt inconsistent, fell a little bit flat in certain jokes. But I was debating about keeping this one, but I think I'm going to get rid of it. This is an Olive Films release. I'm not sure if this was out of print or not. I didn't check it out, but it's Yellowbeard. You've got Peter Boyle in here, Cheech and Chong, Peter Cook, Graham Chapman is the Yellowbeard pirate character who, you know, gets out of jail and he's looking for his gold, his, you know, his treasure. David Bowie right there, small appearance. But yeah, there's some other recognizable, Eric Idle's in here too, a few other recognizable people, but I remember enjoying this one, but thinking it could have been better, thinking, you know, there's got some funny moments in here, but when am I going to be in the mood to rewatch it again? So if you're into, you know, pirate comedy movies, Yellowbeard. Some good cast in there too, and again, like I said, I think it's a good movie. It's got some funny moments, but I just don't know when I'm going to be in the mood to revisit it. I think there's other movies I'd rather watch ahead of that. So again, you know, from 2,500 movies is a lot of movies, especially to most people. But right now I have over 6,000. So to cut it down, I got to start making some tough decisions. It's been hard. Now those are the Blu-rays. I've got 3 DVDs I'm getting rid of. Climax, I finally watched this, and it's not for me. I'm not the biggest Gaspar Noé fan. I know he has a huge following. Irreversible was a big hit. I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie. I loved the beginning, but you know, the fire extinguisher scene. After that, though, I just felt like it was kind of a gimmick, and I feel like he uses kind of gimmicks in a lot of his movies. This one too. There's a lot of shots that just go on for too long. There's shots where it's like upside down, and that was just so overused to me. And to me, people were raving about this movie. It didn't work for me. It's just a dance troupe in France during the 90s who get their punch bowl spiked with acid, and they start going crazy and beating each other up and hooking up with each other. And I just didn't feel like there was a lot of depth here. I thought the acting was kind of terrible. It's just not for me, and I think it's just kind of like more of a shock and awe movie. And I felt like actually I was disappointed. I was expecting more from it. People hyped this movie up, and I was expecting more from like the shock and awe aspects as well. I feel like there's a lot of human nature elements in his movies, and you know, I'm with a lot of that, the primal aspects for sure. But I don't know, I was expecting more violence, more craziness from it, the way that it was hyped, and I was kind of a bit let down from that. But overall, cinematically, I just think it was from him now almost tried and cliche, like the way that he does certain shots. Then, you know, again, a lot of it was just overused, the upside down angle, the shots that last a little bit too long, trying to be, you know, cinematic, and it just falls flat and it's just overdone. Climax, a lot of people seem to love this one. Wasn't for me. This was like a lot of people's like favorite movie of the year when it came out. It was a couple of years ago now, and yeah, at least a lot of people had it on their top 10s too. So not for me. I'm not a big Gaspar Noé fan though. I know he has a big following. Next up is Tapeheads with John Cusack and Tim Robbins. Had this for a while. This is out of print, but I still think you can get it for relatively cheap. It's the 2-disc edition right here, and I think it goes for like $15, $15-20, around that range. John Cusack, Tim Robbins, they get fired from their jobs as security guards, and they get into like the music business essentially, and they're trying to resurgence of this career soul duo, the Swanky Modes. You've got Sam Moore in here. You've got a lot of recognizable people. Devo, Circle Jerks, Dead Kennedys, King Cotton, They Might Be Giants, Ted Nugent, Bobcat Goldthwait, Susan Tyrrell, Dougie Fresh, a ton of recognizable people, especially music-wise. But Don Cornelius, just for me though, I haven't seen this one in a while, but I just remember thinking when I watched it initially, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. The music aspect, I like to see a lot of those people in here, but as a film, it just fell a bit flat. But I know this one has a big fan following too. There's the 2 discs right there, but yeah, just remember not being the biggest fan of it, just never wanting to revisit it. I was like, maybe I'll revisit. A lot of people seem to like it, but it's film tastes, they're subjective. There's a lot of movies that people love that I hate. And Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, the Blair Witch Project especially, people rave about that. The marketing, everybody says, oh, if you don't like the film, but you got to appreciate the marketing. Even that was kind of ridiculous to me. You thought there was a real witch living in the woods in Maryland? Come on, if you're over the age of 5, I've got a bridge to sell you. You shouldn't keep movies in your collection just because other people like them. Everybody has their own tastes. But I digress. Let's get into the final one, North Pole, which I had in my collection for a bit, and I finally watched. It's a Hallmark movie. I kept it essentially because I'm a big Tiffany Amber Thiessen fan. She was my first celebrity crush. Kelly Kapowski. I had a big poster of her on my wall. I loved Saved by the Bell. And actually, my mom recently gave me that poster back. She's like, oh, you can do something with it, put it in your garage or something like that. But that sounds weird and creepy to put that poster on my wall now. I don't know why, but yeah, I still got that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that poster, but she's still a babe to me. She's always going to be a babe. But yeah, this movie was a train wreck of a movie. And they actually made like a sequel to it with this girl right here. I think her name is Bailey Madison. She's the elf here. She's in it, but it's a different cast besides that. Also has Josh Hopkins in here. Robert Wagner plays Santa Claus, and Jill St. John, who they're married in real life, plays Mrs. Claus. He's the skinniest Santa Claus I've ever seen. They were in it briefly. But it's basically trying to, save Christmas and the Christmas spirit and the family right there. It just falls flat. If you're into Hallmark Christmas movies, maybe you'll enjoy it, but otherwise it was just disappointing. But let me know who your first celebrity crush was. Tiffany Amber Thiessen was my first, then Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy. So, but there we go. Those are the pickups, or actually not the pickups. These aren't the pickups. These are the getting rid ofs. These are what didn't make the shelf. I feel like I'm just so used to saying that condition. But if anybody's interested in any of these, let me know. I'm definitely trying to get rid of them. The only one I think that has real value is the Miss 45, which is out of print, going for crazy money. Double Dragon, I don't know the slipcover. People are weird with the slipcovers for some of those ones. I don't know, it just blows my mind. I like slipcovers for sure, but I'm not going to pay, $60 for a slipcover or something crazy like that. And some of the slipcovers out the Scream Factory, even some of the MVD recent ones, they go for money, which blows my mind. But let me know if you're interested in anything. I'm mostly looking to sell because, you know, there's certain movies I'm looking for. I've got a, you know, Amazon wish list, of course. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. My Amazon wish list is super long, but I used to like to do trades, but now I just like, I'm trying to get rid of more stuff, and there's, you know, not that many things I'm looking for out there really. But there you go, 10 movies that didn't make the shelf. If you've seen any of them, let me know what you think of them. Even if you ended up liking them, let me know. I like to hear differing opinions. Again, I know I'm in the minority on not liking certain movies like, you know, Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch Project. I know those are super popular. For me, they're the most overhyped horror movies in history. Climax, I know that has a big fan following. Mrs. 45, I know has a big fan following. Let me know. I like to hear differing opinions. We can be respectful about the differing opinions. But yeah, let me know what you think of these movies, if you've seen them, and which one of these is your favorite as well. Let me know if you got rid of any movies in your collection too. I like doing these video series. It's kind of cathartic as well. So thank you. I'm going to give a big shout out again to Joe and Marie on Martinez Joe 74 of their channel. Definitely check them out. They do great videos, and I love to see, you know, their opinions when they talk about the movies that they're getting rid of from their collection too. So thank you for that video idea. It's helpful for me. It's cathartic. And it's better than my old idea of the keep or toss one that I used to do. Because again, I feel like if I'm asking your opinion on it, I'm trying to get you to help rationalize keeping it. And if I feel like, you know, I'm even debating about it, I should just get rid of it. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope everybody's doing well. Take care.